And continuing our conversation with Justice Stephen Taylor, presided over the state case against Terry Nichols back in 2004. Want to continue our conversation and get back to that case. The question I was asked, a lot of people want to know, no death penalty in this case.
And the same in the federal trial, no death penalty. One of the factors, I'm sure, was that McVeigh is the one who actually lit the fuse.
Right.
And Nichols was back in Kansas at the time that of the bombing. That's probably one factor. But in the state trial, the jury deadlocked 7-5. I found this out later, and I talked to some of the jurors later. They deadlocked 7-5. 7 were in favor of the death penalty. 5 were in favor of life without parole. And I talked to some of the jurors after, some on both sides, and what I learned was that the 5 jurors who were voting for life without parole were voting for life without parole because they considered it to be a harsher punishment. That he was a healthy 49-year-old man and he is going off to solitary confinement the rest of his life, and they determined that that was a harsher punishment. And so they were in favor of what they considered to be harsher than the death penalty, and that is life without parole. And once, under Oklahoma law, when they deadlock, then the judge cannot give the death penalty. Only a jury can give the death penalty when there's a jury trial. So I gave him 161 counts of life without parole, consecutive.
Which I think we just read is actually a Guinness record right now for the longest sentence. Are you happy with that? Do you think justice was served?
Oh, yes,
Okay.
Unquestionably. He is in a solitary confinement institution in Florence, Colorado, the Supermax federal prison. No human contact, solitary confinement the rest of his life. I think those jurors who thought that was pretty harsh were very wise.
Speaking of justice, and if it was truly served here in the grand scheme of things, there are so many, I hate to use the word conspiracy theories, but there are conspiracy theories. Who else was an accomplice? Did we get everyone? What about James, the brother of Terry Nichols, who is now deceased, by the way? As someone who protects and fights for justice, you were a justice. Do you think we know the full extent of what happened? Do you think we got everybody who was involved?
Yes. And I answer that without reservation. I know this case. I lived this case. I know all of the evidence. I know all the evidence that was admitted at the trial, but more importantly, I know all the evidence of all these conspiracy theories that were attempted to be admitted at the trial. None of them met the test, the legal test of admissible evidence. It was all hearsay, speculation. I have no doubt that Terry Nichols and Timothy McVeigh were the actors in this case. They had some friends who knew about this and knew it was going to happen, but weren't participants. But all this John Doe business was speculation. You should have seen, I mean, the evidence. It was just speculation, hearsay. I saw this, I saw that. And then the Nichols' brother was not an actor in this. McVeigh and Nichols did this. The evidence is clear.
Okay, because there are multiple documentaries. There are so many blogs, and I wanted to get your opinion on that as someone who's an expert, the expert on this.
I answer that question without reservation.
Is there anything you can say now that you couldn't say as a justice, as a judge who presided over this case?
Well, I would say that the decision that Wes Lane, the district attorney of Oklahoma County, made to try this case was the correct decision. It was controversial at the time because it was going to cost money and take time. But it was 160 civilians, 160 Oklahomans, including 19 children who were killed. And if he had not made that decision, their cases would have never been adjudicated. There would have never been a trial. And they were entitled to have a trial. And we ended up having a fair trial.
And lastly, you'll be at the ceremony tomorrow.
Yes.
Not as a justice, not as a judge, but as an Oklahoman.
Right.
What will you be feeling tomorrow?
The feeling that I have every time I go to the memorial and the museum is the renaissance, the the reaffirmation of the Oklahoma spirit and the American spirit, and that is McVeigh and Nichols tried to take this city down by hitting in the heartland in Oklahoma City. They tried to take this city down, and they failed. They brought the city together. They brought Oklahoma together, and their mission was a total failure. And so that's the feeling I have, and I'll have it tomorrow, is I mourn the 168 who were killed and all those who were injured, and I lift their lives up, but I also say that the crime that was committed, the mission of that crime, was a failure, because this city and this state recovered from that and showed what we're really about.
Justice Stephen Taylor, thank you so much for being with us. Really your first interview since retirement.
Yes.
So we are so grateful you spent some time with us, and making me a little emotional thinking about just what you said there. But thank you for that, and thank you for everything you really did for Oklahoma, and dedicating that whole year of your life to seeking justice. Certainly appreciate your time.
Thanks, Abigail.